Welcome to Sage Doctor tutorial on Sage 50 Desktop. This training introduces you to Sage 50, one of the most popular accounting and bookkeeping programs available today. This class is designed to give the student with little or no knowledge of the program's capabilities a basic skill set in using the product. Sage 50 is a terrific program to learn. As a bookkeeper and accountant, it is one of the most automated tools that have been created in the recent past by tech giant Sage. Sage 50 has been earlier known by different names like Sage Conta Plus in Spain, Sage 50 Seal in France, Bedford Accounting in Canada, and Peachtree Accounting in the USA. Hi, I am Anna. I will walk you through this training. This is the beginner's level course with 5 definitive columns. Familiarizing with Sage 50 desktop platform, set up a company, use general ledger, use sales tax, and enter records. We shall go through each of these sections in detail to help you understand how Sage 50 works. Sage 50 is a very intuitive software for all accountants and bookkeepers. When you start your own business, you are responsible for doing much more than simply generating revenue for your company. Depending upon your business type, you may also need to produce invoices and statements, record customer payments, and manage multiple types of accounts. Sage 50 lets you accomplish these tasks and more. This is the default screen of Sage 50. It shows the default screen. You can view all the topics on the left-hand panel. All these can be made a default screen by clicking the default button on the top. The major topical screens include Customers and Sales, Vendors and Purchases, Inventory and Services, Employees and Payroll, Jobs, Banking, Payment Center, Services, System. Now you can view all the messages and notifications in the inbox. You can change the system date. The system date is the default date taken by the system in Sage 50. It must be always within the period dates of the transactions. Otherwise, the default date of the transactions will be marked on the same date as of 01/01/1900. You can correct the system date by manually entering the date you wish. Click the Period Date button to open the Change Accounting Period screen. You can make the changes to the period dates here and click OK to implement the changes. The screens of Sage 50 show the screen divided into 4 distinct sections, which will always show the recent transactions in the form of a list as well as graphs. This is how you navigate the screens in Sage 50. For more such informative videos on Sage 50, subscribe to our channel and fill in the form in the link given below. All versions of Sage 50 contain a menu bar. This menu bar includes the headings of the windows where you perform the business-related tasks. The primary command group in the menu bar are File, Edit, Lists, Maintain, Tests, Analysis, Options, Reports and Forms, Services, Window, Help, Live Chat. When you click any of the main commands, you will see the subcommands in a menu that opens. The subcommands with an ellipsis mark need you to enter more details in a new window that will open. The subcommands followed by a right point arrow will open another side menu bar with more commands with specific actions. Other subcommands without an arrow or ellipsis are simply clicked to be executed. Create shortcuts in a menu. If you scroll down on the left-hand side menu bar, you will notice Shortcuts buttons. You will notice there might be some shortcuts already below the button. To customize the shortcuts, you can click on the Customize button to add shortcuts. The Customize shortcuts will list all the shortcuts already being created. To create and add more shortcuts, you click on Add Shortcuts. This will open the General Category menu. You can see there are many shortcuts here. You add any of these. You can also rearrange the shortcuts in an order that you prefer. You can use the Move Up button or Move Down button as many times as required to arrange it in a perfect sequence of your wish. You can also rename a selected shortcut by simply clicking the Rename button. To delete a shortcut, simply click the Delete button. To reset to default, click this button. To save the changes you made, click the OK button. Setting up a company. Let us view the complete process of setting up a Sage 50 company. Start the Sage 50 application. The Sage 50 accounting window appears. Create a new company by clicking the Create a New Company button. If you have another company file open, Sage 50 will close that company file before creating a new company file. Read the information within the introduction screen and click the Next button to continue. Enter the company name. Enter the details into the Address Line 1 field. Enter the details into the Address Line 2 field. Enter the city, state, zip fields. Enter the country. Enter a telephone number. Enter the fax number. Select the business type from the drop-down menu. Enter the details in the Federal Employer ID field. Enter the details in the State Employer ID field. Enter the ST Unemployment ID details. Enter the website. Enter the email address. Click the button to continue. Select the sample business type to continue. Click the next arrow button to continue. Select the Sales and Service Company option within the detailed types of companies shown within the scrollable list of company choices. Click the next arrow button to continue. Select the accounting method. Click the next arrow button to continue. Select the posting method. Click the next arrow button to continue. Select the 12 monthly accounting periods per year. Most companies choose this option button. Click the next arrow button to continue. Select January and 2021 from the drop-down menus. Click the next arrow button to continue. Click the Finish button to finish creating your Sage 50 company file. Click the Close button within the setup guide that appears on screen. Click the X button in the upper right corner of the All Account drop-down to the right of the window. Then set the customer defaults, vendor, inventory, and payroll defaults for the new company as shown earlier. To convert a company file from QuickBooks or DAC Easy to Sage 50, there are two methods. Select File, then select Convert a Company from the menu bar. Alternatively, you can also click the Convert from Another Accounting Program hyperlink in the Sage 50 screen that appears to open the Convert a Company dialog box. This dialog box lists the versions of each software program that you can convert to your version of Sage 50. If converting from QuickBooks, Note that you can also click the View the QuickBooks Conversion Guide link in this dialog box. Then, select the type of company file you want to convert by clicking the corresponding option button for either QuickBooks or DAC Easy. Then click the OK button to continue. The conversion wizard for your selected type of company file then opens and guides you through the conversion process. Read each screen carefully to answer any questions posed. Click the Next button to continue through the screens until you complete the wizard. Then click the Finish button. Check the file once it is converted. There might be a possibility where you might need to re-enter certain parts of the data in the company file. Setting up customer defaults. To set up customer default, you need to select Maintain. Then, select Default Information and after that, Customers. To set the default customer terms and credit information, click the Terms and Credit tab. Set the default Standard Terms for new customers in the top section of this tab. To set a default customer credit limit, enter it into the Credit Limit field. To set how Sage 50 handles transactions that place the customers over their credit limit, by default, use the Credit Status drop-down. To set the default income account used for sales, use the GL Sales Account drop-down. To set the default account used for customer discounts, use the Discount GL Account drop-down. Click the Account Aging tab to see the default aging for customer invoices. Select an option button under the Age Invoices by section to choose a date. Set the Aging Category section and Sage 50, then make the final entry from the third entry. Click the Custom Fields tab. Click the Finance Charges tab to set the values. For customer finance charges, check the Charge Finance Charges checkbox. Fill in more information in this section. To set the default methods for customer payment, click the Pay Methods tab. Enter up to 10 payment methods that you accept into the Payment Method column. To specify whether deposit ticket ID numbers are assigned in the Receive Money window, in Receipts, or within the Select for Deposit window, select the desired option button in the Assign Deposit Ticket IDs section. Click OK when finished. Setting vendor defaults. Select Maintain, then Default Information and Vendors from the menu bar. To set the default payment terms to enter for new vendor records, click the Payment Terms tab. Enter the most common terms received from the majority of your vendors by selecting an option button and then entering the values into the fields in this section. To set the default accounts for expenses and vendor discounts, select the desired choices from the Expense Account and Discount GL Account drop-downs in the GL Link Accounts section. To set the default aging brackets for vendor bills, click the Account Aging tab. To set the default date used to age bills, select an option button in the Age Invoices By section. Enter the default aging brackets for payables. To create custom fields for vendor records, click the Custom Fields tab. Enter up to 5 custom fields by typing names for the fields into the Field Labels boxes and then checking the adjacent Enabled checkbox. Click the Pay Methods tab to set up to 20 default payment methods you use for bills. Then enter the names of the payment methods, from most to least frequently used, into the Payment Methods column. To set how payments to 1099 vendors are recorded for reporting, click the 1099 Settings tab. Select your desired calculation choice from the 1099 settings column for each general ledger account used. To finish your vendor defaults, click the OK button. Setting the inventory defaults. Setting the inventory defaults helps you setting up a system that helps easy setting up of the bills, invoices, and purchases done. To set this, you have to select Maintain, then select Default Information, and then select Inventory Items from the menu bar. In the General Settings, you choose General Settings for a vendor. To apply the duplicate values for the SKU and UPC, select the Radio button. To apply for the duplicate part numbers in case of the same items from a known vendor, select the Radio button. To assign a class item, select the types from the drop-down. To make changes to the ordering settings, click the Ordering tab. When calculating the quantity including the purchase orders issued, select the Radio button for the quantity available. To customize the out-of-stock warning messages, use the Radio buttons under this heading. Read carefully before making the choices. To customize the out-of-stock warnings in the sales proposal or sales order windows, select the options that are best suited here. To automatically create purchase orders in the event of low stocks or stock scenarios, select the suitable options here. To make changes to the accounting and GL accounts ledgers, you can make the changes here. Enter the values carefully, as it would have an impact on the overall ledgers. Select the accounts for the GL sales, GL inventory, GL wages, and select the costing data or criteria as well. To select the default tax settings, select the Taxes and Shipping tab. Enter up to 10 default shipping methods here. These methods should be selected from the most frequently used to the least frequently used items. You have to select the tax description and the adjacent tax fields here with the help of the tax ticks. To add the custom fields for the inventory items, you can click the Custom Fields tab. You can add up to 5 additional fields to track custom data. To set the pricing levels, you can select the Price Levels tab. Add the label names and enable them to set your defaults on the pricing levels. These settings are very crucial, as these settings can help you charge different prices for the same item to different customers based on the factors like availability and shipping options used by the customer. Remember that accounting is a specialized job and always needs specialists. We at Sage Doctor can help you with your queries regarding the accounting methods. Call us or fill in the form in the description below for any consultancy in accounting with Sage 50. Make all the changes need to the default price level calculation window for an item. Once finished setting the defaults for the inventory items, click OK. Setting up Payroll Wizard. Setting payroll defaults is vital for any organization. Payroll defaults are always to be set up before employee defaults. To set up the payroll defaults, select Maintain from the top bar menu. Select Payroll, and then select Payroll Settings. In the Payroll Setup Wizard, you answer the questions shown and enter the suitable answers. You can always go next and back depending on your requirement. In the payroll options, you can select one of the payroll options. Read carefully before you select. Carefully fill up the tax details and field orders, as these are crucial for checks and balances. Click Finish once you are done. Setting up employee defaults. To open the Employee Defaults window, select Maintain, then go to Default Information. Select Employees. From the menu bar, after finishing the Payroll Setup Wizard in Sage 50. To set the default General Employee settings, click the General tab. To create default custom fields for employee records, type the field names into the Field Labels fields. Check other radio buttons that are adjacent. To set the default display of employee names, select an option button under the Display Employee Name With section. If the locality field is used in payroll, you can enter the name of the locality into the Locality field. To view and edit payroll fields that affect employee pay, like deductions, additions, and exceptions, click the Employee Fields tab. After these fields have been created in the Employee Defaults window, they are then available for use by all employees. You can then customize these individual fields for each employee's record later on as needed. These fields were created from your responses in the Payroll Setup Wizard. These fields are created by your responses in the Payroll Setup Wizard. Like the employee fields, making changes to your previous responses in the Payroll Settings window can affect the fields shown here. After initially setting up payroll, an alternative way to also access the Payroll Settings window is by selecting Maintain, then select Default Information, and select Payroll Settings from the menu bar. To create the default employee ratings, click the Review Ratings tab. Then, enter up to 10 ratings for employee performance into the Ratings column on this tab. To create the default employment statuses, click the Employment Status tab. Some statuses are provided by default, and you can keep them, edit them, and add more if needed. Enter the desired statuses into the Status column. To save changes to the employee defaults, click the OK button in the Employee Defaults window. Setting up job defaults. To access the job defaults, select Maintain. Then select Default Information, and then Jobs. To set the general default job settings, click the General tab. To enable warnings, check either or both the For a Customer Transaction and For a Vendor Transaction checkboxes. To set the default job statuses, click the Statuses tab. There are 4 job statuses provided by default, and you can add more if needed. To add a new job status, click the Add New button. Now, select an icon color from the Icon drop-down. Then enter Al Account drop-in field. To make it the default job status, check the Use as Default checkbox. Then, click the Save button to see Al Account drop status list to the right. To delete a job status from this list, click it to select it and then click the Delete button. To change its position in this list, click it to select it and then click the Move Up or Move Down buttons. To create default custom fields for jobs, click the Custom Fields tab. To create up to 5 custom fields for jobs, enter the names of the fields into the Field Labels fields, and then check the Enabled checkbox to the right of the fields. After defining the custom fields here, you can later enter the specific values for each job record. To save the job defaults after changing them, click the OK button in the Job Defaults window. Make a local backup. 2. You must always make a backup of the Sage 50 data to prevent any hours of data entry in the event data file lost or corrupt. Even minor errors like a power outage can corrupt a data file. Thus, it is always advisable to take a backup of the data file in Sage 50. A backup file is a complete file with all your company information and settings for hours of data. Sage 50 Premium helps you back up both at a local level and also on a cloud for users of Microsoft 365 Premium Business account or higher. To create a local backup of your company file, select File. Click Backup. Alternatively, you can also press Ctrl+B. It opens a backup company window. Here, you can set the days of the remainder of a backup whenever needed. You can check the other settings. When you are ready for the backup, click Backup. It will open the Save Backup window. Here you can select the drive file where you need the backup to be stored. You are done. Click the Save button. Make a cloud backup. If you have a system that has MS Office 365 or higher, Sage 50 offers amazing cloud backup of your company files. To create a local backup of your company file, select File. Click Backup. Alternatively, you can also press Ctrl+B. In the Backup Company window that opens, click Backup Online. If needed, then you might have a dialog box that opens up. A Cloud Backup window opens. This configures the data. You need to sign in to the Microsoft Office 365 account within Sage 50C to start the backup. Click OK. Company file is backed up. Now you can click the Close button. Restore local backup. Restoring a backup file is a critical feature that you must do in the event of a corrupted file of the Sage 50 company file. To restore a file from a local company backup file, select File, go to Restore from the menu bar. The Restore wizard opens. Select the backup file you want to restore. Now click Next. On the next screen, select the company file you wish to overwrite. You can also make a new company file if needed, which leads to a separation between the original and the restored file. The next screen will help you check the options that you need to restore. When you are ready to restore the company, click Finish. Restore local backup. Restoring a backup file is a critical feature that you must do in the event of a corrupted file of the Sage 50 company file. To restore a file from a local company backup file, select File, go to Restore from the menu bar. The Restore wizard opens. Select the backup file you want to restore. Now click Next. On the next screen, select the company file you wish to overwrite. You can also make a new company file if needed, which leads to a separation between the original and the restored file. The next screen will help you check the options that you need to restore. When you are ready to restore the company, click Finish. Setting up security and creating user account drop. Create users and set up security for your Sage 50 company file. Select Maintain, then Users, and click Set up Security from the menu bar. To create the administrator user in the User Security window that then appears if needed, click the User List tab. Then click the New User button that appears on the right side of the window. In the Create Administrator dialog box that appears, enter the name for the administrator user account into the username field. Then enter a password for the account into the password field. You should record this password and save it in a secure place. You need this password to access your company data. To create the administrator user, click the Save button. After creating the administrator user, you are logged in as that user and can then create the other user accounts. To create the other user accounts, click the New User button again. In the User Rights window that appears, enter the username and password for the new user. Choose the option button that describes the level of access to grant to them within the company file. For all levels of access other than selected access, click the Save button at the bottom of the dialog box to save the user account. If you choose the Selected Access option button, then click the All Account drop bottom of the dialog. All Account drop open the Selected Access dialog box. Here you set user security for the different areas of the company file, which appear in a listing at the left side of the dialog box. Click an area of the company file within the listing on the left side to see the selected area's security options appear in a listing of drop-down menus at the right side of the dialog box. Use the drop-down menus to select the level of user access to each feature or area shown. Once you finish setting user access for the various categories, click the Save button at the bottom of the dialog box to create the user account. Within the User Security window, you can also select a user from the listing shown and then click any of the buttons that appear at the right side of the window to modify user access, copy the user account, delete the selected user, or modify their password. When finished creating user accounts, click the Close button at the bottom of the window to close the User Security window. To log into the company file, enter your user information into the fields shown, and then click the OK button to open and log into the company file. General Ledger records all financial information for your company. Every transaction that occurs is eventually posted to the set of accounts that make up General Ledger. This set of accounts is called the Chart of Accounts. We will learn to set the defaults for General Ledger. General Ledger helps to add accounts, delete or inactivate account, add beginning balance to accounts, use lists, use basic General Ledger reports, add General Ledger entries, enter account budgets, use cash account register. Before we deep dive into the processes, let us take a brief look at the General Ledger reports that are commonly used. Account variance. It displays the actual amount, budget amount, variance amount, and variance percent for the accounts and periods you select. Account variance, dual budgets. It shows the actual amount, budget amount, variance amount, and variance percent for two budgets for the accounts and periods you select. Budget. It highlights the period and year-to-date budget amounts. Cash account register. It lists all transactions affecting a selected cash account, along with a running balance. Cash account register. It lists all transactions affecting a selected cash account, along with a running balance. Chart of accounts. It lists all account numbers, descriptions, and account types. General journal. It is a list of all general journal transactions for the selected date range. General ledger. It is the list of transactions in each account for the selected accounting period. General ledger trial balance. It shows the current balance in each account, and also shows the history for the selected accounting period. Transaction detail report. It shows all transactions that match your specified search criteria. Working trial balance. It is the list that shows the accounts and their debit or credit balances. To maintain the chart of accounts and create General AL account drop, open the Company AL account drop through the end of the previous section exercise. Select Maintain, select Default Information, and then select General Ledger from the menu bar. Check to ensure the rounding account is set. Click OK in the General Ledger Defaults window to close it. To Accounts List, select the Maintain, then Chart of Accounts from the menu bar. AL account drop Chart of Accounts from the menu bar. Click the List button in the toolbar at the top of the Maintain Chart of Accounts window to view the accounts for the company file in the Account List window that opens. Click the Close button within the Account List window to close it. Select Account. Change the description. Click the Save button. Click the Account Beginning Balances button to open the Select Period window. Scroll through the periods shown and then select. Click the OK button to enter ending account balances for the selected period into the Chart of Accounts Beginning Balances window. Enter the amounts for the accounts listed into the available column within each row, and press the Enter key on your keyboard after entering each amount. At this point, assign a trial balance value. Click the OK button in the toolbar at the top of the Chart of Accounts Beginning Balances window to save the account balances. Click the Close button. To open the General Journal entry, select Tasks, then General Journal entry from the menu bar. Enter date. Enter petty cash into the reference field. In the first row under the GL account column, type 71000. Under the description column, enter the description. Enter value under the debit column within the same row. You will need the file and need to complete the exercises at the end of each of the following sections in a sequence to complete all the exercises within the tutorial. Sales Tax Wizard. Setting up sales tax is a two-part process. First, you have to set up the sales tax authorities you will use. Second, you must create the sales tax codes using the sales tax authorities. Sales tax authorities are the tax rates for individual governmental agencies. A sales tax code is a group of one or more sales tax authorities. When you create the invoices, the sales tax code is what is used to calculate the sales tax. You can see how much sales tax has been collected per authority in the taxable or exempt statement report. To set up the tax for your sample company file, start the Sage 50 application. Open the company file. To open the Set Up Sales Tax Account, select Maintain, then Sales Tax Account menu. In the Set Up Sales Tax Account, select the Set Up a New Sales Tax button. Click the Next button to continue. In the next screen, enter the amount that you will enter into the What is the total payable charge text box. Click the Next button to continue. On the next screen, enter the tax agency. Enter the state tax agency. Next, you need to create a vendor record for the tax agency to whom you will remit the sales tax payment. Click the New button that appears at the bottom of the drop-down menu to open the Maintain Vendors window, where you will create the new vendor record. Type a vendor ID. Type State in the name field. On the General tab, type the mailing address. Type Tax into the Vendor Type field. Enter 23100 into the Expense Account field. Click the Purchase Info tab. In the Terms and Credits section, select Customize Terms for this vendor from the drop-down menu. Select the Due on Day of Next option button. Enter the due date. Enter 0 into the credit limit field. Click the Save button in the toolbar at the top of the Maintain Vendors window to save the record. Click the Close button at the top of the Maintain Vendors the rate text box. Select account 23100 from drop-down. Click the Next button to continue. On the next screen, enter tax code. Enter state tax name. Select Yes. Click the Finish button to complete the sales tax setup. Select the Close the Sales Tax Wizard option button, and then click the Finish button at the top of the window to close the Setup Sales Taxes window. Save this company file. In the next section, we will learn more about entering records. Speak about entering records for each of the crucial components listed here. Customer records, customer beginning balances, vendor records, vendor beginning balances, inventory records, inventory beginning balances, change record ID. To customer records, open the company file, select Maintain, then select Customers or Prospects. Type the Customer ID field. Type Name in the Name field. On the General tab, type the billing address. Type the city, state, and zip. Select the tax code. In the Customer Type field, type the customer type. Click the Contacts tab. Type the contact name. Select Contact Name from the Use drop-down menu at the bottom of this tab. Click the Sales Info tab. Enter a value. Select the shipping method. Select the pricing level. Click the Save and New button in the toolbar To save the record and create a new blank customer record, type Customer ID. Type the name. On the General tab, type address. Type address, state, and country. Select the tax code from the sales field. Select the customer type. Click the Contacts tab. Type the contact name. Select the company name and sales information. Click the Sales Info tab. Enter the GL Sales Account field. Select Shipping Method. Select Pricing Level. Click the Save button. Entering Customer Beginning Balances. To enter customer beginning balances, select Maintain Customers or Prospects from the menu bar and then click the History tab. Click the Customer Beginning Balances button within the History tab to open the Customer Beginning Balances window. On the Customer Balances tab, double-click the customer account. On the Invoice tab, click into the first row under the Invoice Number column and type in the detail. Enter the date, enter the amount. Click into the second row and enter Invoice Number. Enter the date, enter the amount. Click into the third row and enter the Invoice Number. Enter the date, enter the amount. Click the Save button in the toolbar at the top of the Customer Beginning Balances window. Click the Close button in the toolbar at the top of the Customer Beginning Balances window. Click the Close button in the toolbar at the top of the Maintain Customers or Prospects window. Type the name in the name field. On the General tab, type the address. Enter the expense account field on the General tab. Click the Purchase Info tab and then use the drop-down in the Terms and Credit section to select Customize Terms for this vendor. Select the Due on Day of Next option button. Enter the due date. Enter 0 into the credit limit field. Click the Save and New button to save this vendor record and create a new blank record. Type vendor ID. Type in the name. On the General tab, type the address. Enter the expense account. On the General tab, click the Save button to save this vendor record. Assign vendor beginning balances. Click the History tab, and then click the Vendor Beginning Balances button to open the Vendor Beginning Balances window. On the Vendor Balances tab, double-click Paper Image. On the tab, click into the first row under the Invoice Number column and type 1000. Enter the date, enter the amount. Click into the second row and enter the invoice number. Enter the date, enter the amount. Click into the third row and enter the invoice number column. Enter the date, enter the amount as 30.00. Click the Save button in the toolbar at the top of the Vendor Beginning Balances window. Click the Close button in the toolbar at the top of the Vendor Beginning Balances window. Click the Close button in the toolbar at the top of the Maintain Vendors window. Enter inventory records. Select Maintain, then Inventory Items to enter inventory records. Enter the inventory name. Enter the description field. Use the Item Class drop-down to select Stock Item. Read and tick the relevant checkbox. On the General tab, use the Description drop-down to select For Sales. In the box to the right, type the description. Use the Description drop-down again to select For Purchases. Fill in the details. Type in the minimum stock. Select the vendor ID. Click the Save button at the top of the window to save the record. You may click the New button in the toolbar at the top of the Maintain Inventory Items window to create a new blank record. learned the basics of Sage 50 from this video. For more such informative videos, watch our channel. Stay tuned for the second part of the advanced users of Sage 50 desktop.